A story of a real backstage fight with Liv Morgan just came out, so we'll see those details. We'll also check out what's new for Roman Reigns, the Wyatts, and more. Starting things off with the latest for the Wyatt Sicks and what's going on with them. The Wyatt Sicks got a lot of criticism for their first run, being directionless and a bit of a letdown. But then we saw them return back in May and quickly secure the WWE Tag Team titles. So it's been a decent second run. They still have the tag team titles, and several weeks back we saw their first big teaser of their next potential program. And that was a moment of MFT confronting the Wyatts in the center of the ring. That's a feud that's been rumored to take place for a long time now, and the rumors finally became true when both units had their intense stare down. There hasn't been much development in that program between MFT and the Wyatts ever since. The Wyatts had issued Solo Sikoa several warnings, telling him that it is something he really needs to think about before stepping through that door and getting into issues with the Wyatts. But it looks like those warnings have had no effect on Solo's mindset. Solo Sikoa has still been saying every week to MFT that they're going to dethrone the Wyatt Sicks and bring those tag team titles back to the family. So Solo's plan has not been altered in any way from the warnings. Solo still envisions himself winning back the United States title and the tag team titles coming back to MFT as well. Although the feud has been confirmed and the plan has been mentioned by Solo Sikoa multiple times, we're still not really seeing them actually kicking off the feud. It's a lot of talking, mentions, and references to the feud, not much else. There's no clear reason why that is, but the only solid theory out there is that WWE could potentially be stalling and buying some time for Uncle Howdy to return, and to have him play a big role in that feud since he is the Wyatt Sicks leader after all. Howdy's been mysteriously missing for several months now with no explanation given by the Wyatts, WWE, or any other report. It's unknown if it's injury, personal reasons, or anything else. All we know is that Howdy is not around right now, and that could potentially be the reason for this little delay when it comes to matters between the Wyatts and MFT. The latest clue at this idea came on the November 7th edition of Smackdown, as Solo Sikoa is speaking backstage with MFT and once again going over the plans. They start to walk away, and the Wyatt Sicks members, minus Uncle Howdy, emerge from the background looking like they're ready to strike. But it's Eric Rowan who holds them back, as if he's saying, not yet. And things didn't stop there. The Wyatt Sicks members all took to their social media accounts, all teasing the idea that they're waiting for something. Nikki Cross, who has emerged as the group's leaders in Howdy's absence, took to her Instagram story to explain the November 7th moment for the group and had this to say, quote, "We're not standing still, we are laying in wait," end quote. Some more teases and hints that the group didn't just freeze when being right behind Solo Sikoa and MFT. There's a strategy to what they're doing right now and how they didn't strike because it's a part of a plan, and they're apparently waiting for something or someone. There's not many hints to what exactly they're waiting for, but when you look at the Wyatt Sicks at this current moment, the obvious thing that they're missing is Uncle Howdy. So could that be why Eric Rowan held the group back from attacking? Could that be the hidden message behind Nikki's quote? Could it be all related to the fact that they don't want to make any drastic big moves without Uncle Howdy being around to approve it and lead the way? It seems like a solid theory there for Uncle Howdy himself, being the thing that the group is currently waiting on at the moment. Uncle Howdy has quietly not been seen in months, so you assume he would get a massive return once he does come back. And we touched on this before during the early weeks of Howdy's absence, but is it still possible to think that Howdy's out there right now on some off-screen storytelling mission for the group? Is he securing something for them? Is he recruiting a new potential member? Is he reaching out to anyone? What exactly has Uncle Howdy, the character, been doing this entire time off-screen? Could he come back with a certain special item? A special person? A new member? Maybe that's all in the realm of possibility as well. But it looks like Uncle Howdy could be what the group is waiting on after all. So maybe the Wyatts versus MFT feud will kick off officially once Uncle Howdy's fully back. And that appears to be what they're hinting at, even though it's still very vague and ambiguous for when it comes to what exactly the Wyatts are waiting for. So Uncle Howdy could make his grand return, try and make Solo Sikoa shake in his boots a bit, and then it looks like this feud will fully develop and go full steam ahead. So be on the lookout for Uncle Howdy's return, hopefully sometime here in the near future. The Bloodline story in the entire Tribal Chief arc may not be fully over after all. Fans have discovered that WWE has recently filed for new trademarks to the term Tribal Heir. This was a term that Roman Reigns started using back in 2023 when he officially announced that Solo Sikoa would be the Tribal Heir and would take over as the new tribal chief once Roman's time was completed. But the term wasn't really used again once Solo went rogue and took over the family in 2024. So since Solo did that in April of 2024, the term Tribal Heir has been absent on WWE television. That term pretty much flatlined. But for WWE to now file the rights to Tribal Heir, that usually is a clear indication that it's a nickname and term that they are heavily planning on using in the future. So this has created a lot of buzz amongst the fans, and the entire Tribal Chief heir story and narrative may be rebooted here in the near future for Roman Reigns. Judging by this filing, it's looking like Roman could be revealing and crowning a new Tribal Heir real soon, and how that nickname will be attached to this individual. As far as who will actually get the monkey of Tribal Heir, that's something that fans are still discussing and trying to figure out. One of the easiest early guesses will obviously be the Usos. Maybe Roman realizes that picking Solo as the Tribal Heir was a big mistake last time. So now Roman comes to either Jimmy or Jay as the next Tribal Heir, and maybe that continues the tension that we've been seeing from the Usos. Other fans have suggested a much different idea. The concept of Roman Reigns potentially bringing in a brand new young family member and trying to pass the torch to that fresh individual and crown them as the Tribal Heir. As of this moment, all those questions are pretty much still in play. So look out for Roman Reigns and WWE potentially getting back into that storyline that involves a Tribal Heir of some sort popping in to the Bloodline story again. Sonya Deville was recently a guest on CJ Perry's podcast, and she revealed a never-before-heard story of Liv Morgan getting into a legitimate fight with another talent behind the scenes. The individual Liv Morgan got into a real fight with was Mandy Rose. According to Sonya Deville, this fight took place during a promo class session. Liv had gotten there a year earlier than Mandy and Sonya, so she was the more experienced individual in the group at the time. Sonya says Liv and Mandy were doing a promo that was supposed to lead to them portraying a fight and needing to be broken up. But Sonya said that somewhere in between the stage fight, things suddenly got real, and real punches and swings were flying between Mandy and Sonya. When the women of the group couldn't break up the fight, Sonya says the men in the promo class had to break up the fight there between Mandy and Liv. So a pretty big story reveal there by Sonya Deville. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.